How are you today? I'm Courtney Earnheart.
I'm good. I'm Brittany Crane.
Okay, make yourself comfortable. I won't take up too much of your time here. Just want to ask a few questions that pertain to the job position we have available. Today's interview process leads to a job opening that we have available for physical education teacher here at Malden Elementary. With this job opportunity, we have high school and junior high volleyball coaching positions available. So I ask you questions pertaining to each job opening available. Do you have any questions at this point?
No.
Okay, we're going to talk about confidentiality a little bit. As you're aware, confidentiality is a requirement in our school district. You're currently a teacher now at North Pemiscot, so we believe that you understand the importance of confidentiality already. But for the sake of refreshing both of our minds, let me read to you the definition of confidentiality. Confidentiality is the state of keeping or being kept secret or private. So, in a school setting, we expect situations involving the children to be kept confidential. It is the easiest if we abide by the saying, what happens at school stays at school, or what is said at school, it stays at school. The interview process will last approximately 15 to 20 minutes, followed by any questions that you may have after the question segment. Before we begin, I would first like to thank you for taking your time out of your day to inquire about these positions available at Malden Elementary. I would also like to thank you for your consideration and interest in our district. As I have mentioned to you prior to this interview process, this is an interview in which we would like to record if you allow us to do so. So do I have your permission to record?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now we'll get to the questions. First, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that pertain to the teaching position available for PE, and then 5 questions that pertain to the coaching position if you're interested in that.
Okay.
So first, what are your personal and professional goals?
I think my personal and professional goals go hand in hand because I'm a very personal person, and so overall, my goal is for succeeding or improving. If there are any growth in the students, then I feel like there is success. And so whether that's a personal goal or a professional goal, growth would be my overall.
Okay, good answer. Okay, what qualities do you consider to be an asset to this job position for being a physical education teacher?
Well, I am at North Pemiscot right now, and I have 1 hour of girls PE, and it takes a lot of organizational skills. It takes someone in charge who has their lesson plans well planned out, because kids tend to get a little rowdy and rambunctious in PE, and so someone really needs to have control of the classroom setting or control of the gym setting.
Okay, what would you do if a student demands not to do a particular activity that you have planned for the day?
Okay. I've thought a lot about this with the little experience I do have in PE, and overall, if a student decides not to participate, that will affect their grade. If they do not want to play kickball, they can walk laps while everyone else plays kickball and still lose their points. Okay. And so it's the kid's choice. Especially at the junior high and high school level, I'm not going to waste my time and energy focusing on one student who doesn't want to play when I have 20 others who do.
So you don't have a requirement then to participate?
The requirement would be if you want a good grade, you're going to participate. Okay. And if you don't, I'm not wasting my time on you. It's kind of like a homework sheet. You send it home, well, you don't bring it back, you don't get your points. I can't make you do it.
Okay. And you mentioned that for junior high and high school. So for elementary, would you have that same method?
No, in elementary, most kids would participate. I would hope they wouldn't just refuse. If a kid's feeling sick or something like that, I can see them wanting to sit out or take a break. But as far as gym and PE in elementary, I would think they want to. If they didn't, then I would just have them go back to class and they can work on their work if that's an option.
Okay, good answer. Couple more questions here for PE. What are your biggest strengths?
I think my biggest strength is that I truly care about kids. And so whether they have problems at home, problems in the classroom, or if they're a successful student, I want to push them even further. And so my strength is that I actually genuinely care about students.
Okay, and lastly on the PE teaching, what do you think makes you a good candidate for this position?
I think you want to hire me because I'm going to do the best job. I have worked since I've been 15. I'm not scared to work. I will put in the time to organize. I will network with other teachers. I will do whatever's required of me and then some.
Okay. Okay, now we'll move on to the coaching position for volleyball, and I bring this up because on your application it showed that you have you're coaching at North Pembescott now, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so is that something you would like to do here if you're offered the job?
Yes, I want to continue coaching if it's open.
Okay. So I mentioned that you do coach at North Pembescott now. So what's your history with volleyball player coaching?
I played in high school. I went to play 1 year at the college level at a small junior college, and I've learned a lot just through my experiences. I've done a lot of volunteer work at the school I grew up at, and so I know how to bring a team together. I know the basic rules of MISHA, and I've coached for 3 years so far, so I have experience.
Okay, we like that. I'm glad you brought up MISHA because that is important. Okay, and now, so how would you define a great athlete?
A great athlete, in one word, would be a good listener or a listener. If a kid is willing to listen, willing to learn, they're going to be a good athlete because I have good stuff to tell them.
Okay, so now here's kind of a game scenario question. Say you beat a team 25-6 in one set, playing your 6 best players. Who are you going to start that second set?
The second set, I'm definitely going to start the same 6 players. It really depends on what team you're playing at that point. If we're playing a district or conference game, I'm going to win in 2 sets and be done with it. But I do understand that you have players that aren't starters that are still valuable, and so you do want to get playing time in. You know, if you're playing a school, it doesn't really matter, and you know you're going to win anyways. You may sub 1 in, 2, but I definitely want play to win.
Yeah, I like that answer because your 6 best players, they work hard for that position. So to sit them out just to give other people playing time, I haven't always been a fan of. So I like your answer there. Okay, last one. What do you have to offer to our volleyball team here at Malden High and junior high schools, and even elementary possibly?
What I personally have to offer is passion for the sports. And like I said earlier, I want kids to succeed and I want kids to grow. And I care about them, so set aside volleyball. I want them to grow, and then when you bring volleyball into it, I can teach them so many more things about self-discipline, about getting good sleeping habits, good eating habits, just being a good person, being a good teammate, and that's going to help them in the future with their future jobs, how to treat people and how to respect a coach or a leader.
Okay, good answers there. So now, maybe at this point, do you have any questions?
No, I don't really have any questions. I appreciate the time you're taking to interview me, and hopefully I'm a candidate.
Okay, let me mention a few more things here. It sounds like based off your interview questions that you have a lot of experience with both teaching and coaching. That will definitely work in your favor. If we choose to hire you for one or both positions, we will need you to be available beginning July 15 prior to the school year starting. Is this something you would be able to do?
Yes.
Okay.
So my contract's up in May. My job's over, so.
Okay. You'll hear back from us within the next week or so. Allow us to finish conducting all applicants. We have 2 or more interviews to do before making a decision. Whether you get the job or you don't, you'll hear back from us either way.
Okay.
Before we conclude here, do you have any other questions or comments you would like to discuss?
I don't really have any questions. I just want to reiterate the fact that I will put in my time, and you will not regret hiring me. And so that's just something important I want you guys to know.
Okay, so now we're kind of required to go over the confidentiality statement kind of one more time. So let me remind you of the importance of confidentiality in our school district. The applicant in which we feel will follow our guidelines for confidentiality will strongly be considered as an addition to our district. I like that you have had practice of being confidential, considering you have been and are currently working in another school district. And again, I would like to thank you for coming out today to inquire with me about our available positions. Thank you for participating in all of the questions I have asked of you, as well as agreeing to our policy and confidentiality statements. If you don't have any questions, I'll let you go. It was nice to meet you, and you have a good rest of your day.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.